Here's a number that should terrify you. 63% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. And here's what's worse. That includes people earning six figures. We're not talking about poverty. We're talking about broke. And in 2026, despite all the financial advice flooding the internet, despite record stock market highs, despite countless opportunities, most Americans will still be broke. But here's the truth nobody wants to hear. It's not about how much you make. It's about a broken system of thinking that's been programmed into us since childhood. And unless we understand the real reasons, the actual mechanisms keeping people trapped, nothing changes. Today, we're going to dissect exactly why Americans stay broke, expose the systems working against you, and more importantly, show you the specific actions that actually break the cycle. This isn't about blaming anyone. This is about understanding the game so you can finally win it. Let's start with the biggest lie in personal finance. You just need to make more money. Meet David and Rachel. David earns $60,000 as a teacher. Rachel earns $180,000 as a corporate attorney. Who's broke? Both of them. David has $2,300 in his checking account and lives with his parents to save money. Rachel has $1,800 in savings, $85,000 in student loans, and can't afford an unexpected $5,000 emergency without her credit card. This is the income illusion. Americans increased their earnings by 4.1% on average in 2024, but inflation ran at 3.4%, leaving real gains minimal. But here's the kicker. When people earn more, they don't save more. They spend more. It's called lifestyle inflation, and it's why you're making $200,000 can be just as broke as someone making $50,000. The $50,000 earner has a financed Toyota and shares streaming services. The $200,000 earner has a leased BMW premium everything and a mortgage that stretches their income to the limit. The data backs this up. Americans earning $100,000 to $150,000 have a savings rate of just 8.3%. That means even high earners are spending over 91% of what they make. The income isn't the problem. The spending system is. And here's why this matters. You can't earn your way out of broke. You have to think your way out. Now let's talk about what's actually destroying American wealth. Normalized overspending on things that don't matter. The average American spends $1,497 per month on housing. Add in a car payment averaging $738, insurance at $150, a phone bill at $127, subscriptions totaling $219, and before you've eaten anything or turned on the heat, you're at $2,731 monthly. That's $32,772 annually on just 5 categories. But here's where it gets brutal. Those numbers are averages, which means millions are spending far more. Real example. Jennifer earns $82,000 in marketing. Her rent is $1,950, car payment $520, student loans $380, credit card minimums $180, phone $95, gym $89, subscriptions $147. That's $3,361 before groceries, gas, or saving anything. She has $1,339 left monthly for literally everything else, and she wonders why she can't get ahead. The expense trap isn't about one big mistake. It's death by 1,000 subscriptions. It's financing depreciating assets. It's keeping up with the lifestyle you see on social media funded by debt you don't see. Americans carry $1.13 trillion in credit card debt at average interest rates of 21.47%. That's $242 billion per year just in interest payments. Money that could have been building wealth, but instead enriches banks. Here's a shocking statistic. 57% of Americans can't cover a $1,000 emergency with savings. Not because they don't know they should save. Because the system is designed to make saving almost impossible. Let's break down the math on a median household income of $74,580. After federal, state, and payroll taxes, you're looking at roughly $57,000 or $4,750 monthly. With average fixed expenses at $3,200 and variable expenses around $1,200, that leaves $350 monthly. That's $4,200 annually in potential savings. But life happens. The car needs $800 in repairs. Medical bills hit for $1,200 even with insurance. The HVAC breaks. Kids need school supplies, clothes, unexpected fees. That $4,200 evaporates, and suddenly you're back to zero or worse, adding to credit card debt. The savings crisis isn't about discipline, it's about margin. Most Americans have no margin. They're operating at 98% capacity, and any deviation, anything unexpected, creates a crisis that requires debt to solve. And here's the truly damaging part. When you're perpetually in survival mode, you make expensive decisions. You pay bills late and incur fees. You can't buy in bulk to save money. You can't afford preventive maintenance, so you pay for expensive repairs. Being broke is expensive. Financial stability requires a buffer. And most Americans will never build one because they're stuck in the cycle of crisis and recovery. Everyone knows they should budget. Apps make it easy. The information is free. So why doesn't it work? Because traditional budgeting is designed to fail. You're told to track every coffee, categorize every purchase, and stick to predetermined amounts. For someone earning $50,000, already stretched thin, this level of micromanagement feels like a second job they don't have time for. Real budgeting isn't about restriction. It's about automation and priority. Here's what actually works: the reverse budget. Pay yourself first. On payday, before anything else, money automatically goes to savings and investments. What's left is yours to spend. No tracking, no guilt, no spreadsheets if you don't want them. Example: Marcus earns $4,200 monthly after taxes. He sets up automatic transfers, $420 to savings, 10%, $210 to his Roth IRA, 5%, $126 to an emergency fund, 3%. Compare that to his friend who tries to save what's left at the end of the month. There's never anything left. The reverse budget works because it accounts for human behavior. We spend what we see. So we make savings invisible. Most Americans will stay broke because they're reusing budgeting systems that fight against human psychology instead of working with it. Here's where the wealth divide really happens: investment knowledge and access. 52% of Americans own stock, which means 48% don't own any equities at all. And of those who do invest, many are dramatically underinvested for their age and income level. Why? 3 reasons: fear, ignorance, and cash flow. Fear. The market crashes of 2008 and 2020 left psychological scars. People who watched parents lose retirement savings or who lost money themselves become risk-averse, keeping cash in savings accounts earning 0.5% while inflation runs at 3%, guaranteeing they lose purchasing power. Ignorance. The average American doesn't understand the difference between a stock and a bond, doesn't know what a 401 match means, has never heard of index funds or compound interest. Financial literacy isn't taught in schools, and that's not an accident. An informed population is harder to exploit. Cash flow. Even when people want to invest, they have nothing left to invest with. You can't build wealth in the market when you're living paycheck to paycheck. Here's the brutal math. Someone who invests $500 monthly from age 25 to 65 at a 7% return has $1.2 million at retirement. Someone who waits until 35 to start needs to invest $1,050 monthly to reach the same number. And someone who never invests? They retire broke, dependent on Social Security, paying $1,827 monthly, below poverty level. The investment gap isn't just about money. It's about time, knowledge, and access. And most Americans will stay broke because they're losing the compound interest race they don't even know they're rerunning. Americans are gambling with their financial lives, and they don't even realize it. 60% of Americans don't have a will. 44% don't have life insurance. 28% have no health insurance or are underinsured. And remember, 57% can't handle a $1,000 emergency. This is risk management failure at a catastrophic scale. And it keeps people broke because when disaster strikes, and it will strike, they have no protection. Real scenario. Tom, age 42, earns $65,000 and supports a family. No life insurance because it's expensive, at $50 monthly. He dies suddenly. His family gets Social Security survivor benefits of about $2,800 monthly, a 40% income drop. His wife, who stayed home with kids, has no recent work history. They lose the house. Kids can't afford college. One tragedy creates generational poverty. Or Sarah, no emergency fund, laid off during economic downturn. She drains her 401k, paying penalties and taxes, losing $15,000 in value to access $10,000. That money could have been $45,000 at retirement. Now it's zero, and she's broke at 28 and again at 68. Risk management isn't pessimism. It's the difference between a setback and a catastrophe. Most Americans will stay broke because they're living without a safety net. And in America, one fall can be fatal to your finances. So how do you break the cycle? Here's the actual strategy. No fluff, no gimmicks. First, create margin. Cut expenses ruthlessly, not forever, but right now to build space to breathe. That $1,950 apartment? Get a roommate, pay $1,200, bank the $750, that $520 car payment. Sell it. Buy a $8,000 reliable used car, bank the payment. Create $1,000 monthly margin for 12 months minimum. Second, build the buffer. That margin goes entirely to emergency savings until you have $5,000. Not invested, not in the market, in a boring savings account. This is your shield against the expenses that destroy broke people. Third, eliminate high-interest debt. Credit cards at 21% are financial poison. Once you have $5,000 saved, aggressively attack credit card debt while maintaining minimum savings contributions. Every dollar of credit card debt you eliminate is a guaranteed 21% return. Fourth, automate wealth building. Fifth, increase income strategically. Now that you have the foundation, earning more actually works. Job hop every 2 to 3 years, proven to increase income faster. Develop high-value skills, negotiate ruthlessly, build side income. But don't inflate lifestyle. Bank 50% of every raise. Sixth, protect everything. Term life insurance if anyone depends on your income, disability insurance, adequate health coverage, estate planning basics. It's not exciting, but it's essential. This path isn't fast. It takes 3 to 5 years to go from broke to stable, another 5 to 10 to reach real financial security. But it works because it's based on math and human behavior, not motivation and willpower. Most Americans will still be broke in 2026 because the system is designed to keep them broke. Banks profit from debt, employers benefit from desperate workers, and consumer culture demands you spend every dollar plus some you don't have. But understanding the system gives you power. You can't control inflation, wage stagnation, or healthcare costs. You can control your response to them. The difference between broke and wealthy isn't income. It's margin, knowledge, and time. Create space in your budget, invest in assets that compound, protect against catastrophe, and give yourself years to let it work. Will this make you rich? Maybe, maybe not. Will it make you not broke? Absolutely. And not broke is where building wealth begins. The choice is yours. Stay in the system designed to keep you broke, or build the system designed to set you free. The information is here. The path is clear. The only question is whether you'll take the first step. Your future self is watching. Make them proud.